Once upon a time, many years ago, I was a lifeguard. I lifeguarded for about 6 different summers up at this place in the Bay Area, Blackberry Farm. And actually my very first summer lifeguarding, I was 16, and there was a little 8-year-old boy who was drowning, and I pulled him out of the water. I gave him CPR, I saved his life, and ever since then, first of all, that was the most terrifying thing that has probably ever happened to me. But ever since then, I've thought that having CPR knowledge, choking knowledge, any kind of first aid knowledge is so incredibly important, especially when you become a parent. What up, fam? Welcome to For All Moms. We have an awesome and important episode in store for you guys today. Susan, tell everybody what we're about to do and who this gentleman is.
Today, you guys, we're gonna learn how to do infant CPR and to help our kids if they are choking. That's why we have Bryan Wiedenheft here. He is the co-founder of Focus Health, as you can see right there on his shirt, and he's also the head CPR instructor.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, today we are going to focus more on infant CPR and then if our baby is choking, how we can help them. And now I know this is actually a much longer course that you teach. It's usually what, like a 4-hour?
It can be 4 to 20 hours depending on the type of course. Yeah.
Okay. And so obviously we're doing a very, very condensed
Abbreviated. This is you
version.
guys. Some tips for you to kind of take. Maybe some of you have already been CPR trained or something. These are just some reminders for you. Or if you're like me and I haven't been out there yet to get trained, this will kind of get you started in case something does happen.
So, I mean, all of these scenarios we'll talk about are scary.
Yeah.
You know, they're scary for us to do training on, and it's scary for us as new parents to sort of think about having to do.
For sure.
But we need to have these skills. We need to practice these skills every year. So that in the case of emergency, we know how to respond. All new parents are terrified by feeding their babies and their babies choking on, you know, magnets and marbles and toys and stuff. So we have to sort of know how to prevent that, first of all. And second of all, if it does happen, what do we do?
Right.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, let's start with like some of the basics.
Yeah.
What is CPR?
So I can answer that for you, but I want you guys to tell me what you guys know about CPR.
Okay. I know what CPR is, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Am I right?
You're right.
Okay.
You're
So
right.
I have been trained, but I mean, that was a long time ago, and I'm definitely due for a refresher.
The thing that I don't really know about CPR is I know that if my baby were drowning, for instance, and we pulled him out, then that might be when I try to administer CPR, but I guess I don't really know when else I would need to use CPR.
Sure.
Got it.
So traditionally we talk about CPR for people that are suffering cardiac arrest.
Right.
So, but we can also do CPR in moments of drowning. Essentially it's choke relieving. Same thing with if someone is choking and they go unconscious.
Oh, so if it goes that far.
What the Red Cross and the American Heart Association have done over hundreds of years of scientific research and training is they've really simplified the skills so that it's one skill now based on if someone goes unconscious because of choking or if it's someone who suffers a cardiac arrest.
Okay.
The skill is the same.
Let's talk about maybe some like warning signs. If your child is in danger, what will they look like?
Yeah.
Sure. So I want to back it up just a little bit more. Before the warning sign, prevention. That's really the thing that trumps everything else.
It's like the story of every mom's life, right? And dad. Every dad's
Absolutely,
life. Too. Prevention.
absolutely. So you have to be very, very hyper aware of what's in your home. You have to be hyper aware of how you're feeding your baby, and you have to be hyper aware of your baby's airway at all times. So if I can reinforce one thing today, it would be to always be conscious and aware of your baby's airway, because that is how you're going to prevent something from
What do
happening.
you mean by watching their airway?
You're watching them breathe. So a normal breath is effortless, it's quiet. You inhale, you exhale. When getting into what it looks like is when a baby starts to choke on something, you know, they're not able to communicate with us. So you have to watch for signs of their face color changing, whether it's turning white or gray or sort of bluish. You have to watch for them making any sounds, whether it's like a wheezing or they're struggling. You know, traditionally, choking is quiet. Choking is not coughing.
Oh my God, that's so scary.
That's so scary because you're kind of like thinking you're going to see something happening, right? And it's the opposite.
Most times it's not, and you don't know. With little kids, sometimes they can even kind of, if they get a little older, they could be embarrassed almost of their choking, so they could kind of hide. The normal thing to look out for always is their color of their face and their lips. Babies, if they go quiet, is another example of something that might be happening. So you have to be observant of what's in their mouth or if there's anything in their mouth. Beyond that, if they're conscious and their eyes are open and they're acting normally, so you have to look for changes in their behavior. That is, your baby is fully choking and you need to act. So before that, you know, if you're able to scoop something out of a baby's mouth, obviously that's your go-to. Preventing them from chewing on, you know, a penny or whatever is the first step. Beyond that is if you're able to pull it out of their mouth, you would do that.
And I see you're kind of going like this.
It's a finger swipe.
Yeah, it's a natural just habit for me. So that's a finger swipe. So what we don't do is we won't do a blind finger swipe. So if I feel like my baby's choking, I'm not going to just jam my finger in their throat and start fishing for food. You do that, you make a visual inspection. If you see something, you can pull it out, then you pull it out.
Because you could potentially push that back into the baby's throat and make it a little bit harder for you.
And my baby has choked a few times where I just forcefully opened the mouth and I went for it and pulled it out.
I've done that with Idris too.
And then CPR. When do you not try to administer CPR?
Good. So we do CPR when someone's heart stops. So if someone is not breathing and they have no pulse, that is start CPR. And where is the AED, the defibrillator?
I hope
It's
I never
intense,
have to do this.
right? I know.
For real.
Hopefully you never have to, but I mean,
This
if you
is good to
do,
know.
this is great to know. So we're gonna get the babies.
The fake babies.
The fake
We're not going to
babies.
pull this out on our real babies, but let's get these fake babies and get trained.
Let's do it.
Sounds good. So the first goal is to visually inspect the baby's mouth to see if you see something.
Okay.
If you see something and you can sweep it with your pinky finger, get it out of there.
Okay.
Okay.
Here,
Let me borrow this.
I know you're gonna demo my
Yep.
baby.
So let's say I see something, you can get it out, good. If you can't see anything, then you need to start a series of back blows and chest thrusts.
Okay.
So the way we do that is you have to support your baby's head, especially
Okay.
if this is a really young baby.
Right.
Okay. You're gonna rotate the baby downwards. I'm still supporting the baby's head with my hand. You won't be able to see it, but what I'm not doing is I'm not blocking their airway.
Right, because obviously you don't.
You need to rotate the baby down. We call this pancaking. Okay? You pancake the baby downwards. The baby's head has to be lower than their body.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
These are mannequins. They're still not as heavy as a normal baby. So if a baby's weighing 20 pounds, you know, you're holding 20 pounds with your arm.
Are you right or left-handed?
I was just gonna ask that question too.
I personally am right-handed. You do whatever feels more comfortable for you. We're gonna support the baby on our knee. So if you're able to, if you're standing, you're gonna support the baby like so. If you're sitting, then you can just sit and put the baby on your knee. This is so gravity can help you extract that obstruction. Yep. And you're gonna start with 5 back blows right between the shoulder blades with the palm of your hand. 5 times.
So.
Ready?
Yeah.
You can try it out. Yep. Good. Now you're gonna pancake and you're gonna rotate. And while the head is still lower than the body,
Oh, okay.
then now you're gonna start sort of like your CPR compressions. You're gonna do 5 chest thrusts just below nipple line. Yep. Good. Good. So notice how Sharzad's holding the baby.
Yeah.
You need to be. You're kind of cradling.
Oh.
The reason that's hard is because if your baby is unconscious, then your baby will just kind of be bent over your arm.
Right.
So always start with back blows, okay, and then you go to the chest thrust. Yep.
Okay.
So it's that combination of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, supporting the weight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the whole goal is to get that obstruction out. So you doing the back blows and the chest thrusts are hopefully dislodging that thing and gonna get it to come upwards.
Right.
Okay.
And you keep doing it until you get something out of there.
Okay.
But the only difference is you need to also visually inspect the baby's mouth from after maybe every couple rotations to see if you're getting something up that you can grab.
Okay.
Right.
Got it. Okay, great.
So if you are doing that series of back blows and chest thrusts, you have to hit fairly hard. So if you're doing it, you know, you're not using your fingertips, you're not slapping the baby, you're using some force from your palm, and you have to hit pretty hard.
Okay.
Okay.
You just taught us all of that, but the baby went unconscious. What's next?
You need to call 911 as fast as possible.
Okay.
So in the moment of someone choking happens real fast. You're not going to be like, oh, my baby's choking, call 911 real fast.
Right.
Usually you're trying to relieve it first. Then it's, 911, Now let's handle this.
Okay, so now we're here.
Then you have to put your baby down onto a flat surface, whether it's the ground or a flat table.
Okay.
You need that firm surface though.
Okay.
Very
so
important.
not like your sofa.
Not a couch, a sofa, a bed. You can do a visual inspection in their mouth to
Like,
see
make sure
if
there's
you
not
see
something.
anything. If you see something you can sweep, then you would sweep it. Okay, so I'm looking, I'm seeing if there's anything in there. I don't see anything, and I start CPR.
Okay, so hand on forehead.
Yep. Like I said earlier, is that combination of chest compressions to ventilations. It's a ratio of 30 chest compressions to 2 breaths.
30.
30 to 2. So you start 30 compressions. The way we do compressions is slightly below nipple line. It's top of their chest. If you were to get anywhere in this area, you're going to be okay. But what you can't do is be off to a side or down in their abdomen.
Okay.
It's at dead center of their chest, just below nipple line. So we're doing 30 compressions. Okay, and it's all about learning the speed. So real fast, can you guys want to clap with me?
Yeah.
Good, that's about the speed. So you guys have heard you do compressions to the beat of Staying Alive?
Yeah.
Staying alive, staying alive.
Staying alive. Staying alive. Okay, I got that.
Your objective in doing this is relieving what's in their throat. So you know that there's something in the throat, you know that has to get out. So we call this modified CPR because you're always going to be inspecting their mouth to see if there's something to extract. Okay, so we start our CPR, we're doing our 30 compressions. You have to push down at least 1.5 inches. So with a baby, it's about 1.5 inches. Up to an adult, it's at least 2 inches. It's not that big of a range, but you just know you don't push as hard with a baby as you would with an adult.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
With an infant, you're putting your mouth over their nose and their mouth. They have little faces. We have bigger mouths. We just cover both their orifices, and you do ventilation.
Okay.
When we do ventilation, obviously kids have smaller lungs than we do, so you don't need to do a big and do a big exhale. It's more of it's a quicker one. When you go to do ventilations, make sure you're covering their nose and their mouth.
Okay.
Making sure your hand is always on their forehead so their airway doesn't close. You're doing 2 breaths. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Okay, so 2 breaths, then you go right back into chest compressions. This is all you're doing until you get something out of that throat.
Okay. Are you holding their head back while you're doing this?
Absolutely.
Okay. Got
And
it.
again,
Head is just always back.
head is a neutral position, hand on the forehead, so you're in control of their airway.
Okay. Sounds good.
When you go to put your baby down on a flat surface, it's really important that your baby is horizontal in front of you, not head to you or feet to you, so that you can easily get to both their mouth and to do compressions at the same time. So you're learning the skill by yourself, how to react by yourself, not as a group.
Right. That makes sense. Okay.
Look in their
Nothing
mouth.
there?
You don't
Okay.
see anything. Hand on the forehead to keep the airway open, and you begin compressions.
My light is flashing. What's that mean?
It means you're just going a little bit too fast.
Oh, that's way slower than okay. It's hard to keep it going. Okay, Shaw.
Good, great job. The importance when you're doing the ventilation is to be aware, you have to be observant. So you do the breath and you're kind of looking to see if the chest rises.
Yeah.
So you need to be kind of looking at the corner of your eye to see if you effectively got it. Because hypothetically, if there is something in this baby's throat and you do the 2 ventilations, you may not see the chest rise.
Because nothing might get through.
Nothing's getting past that blockage. So let's say you do 2 breaths and nothing rises, then you start CPR. So you've already done your compressions. Sometimes though, depending on the scenario, you could retilt the head and try those 2 breaths again. But we already know the baby's choking. So you already did your compressions, 2 breaths, compressions, and that's it. You're doing that combination until
it comes out. Or until emergency gets
Or
there.
until someone else more trained than you comes and relieves you. Yeah.
Okay. That was hard. I feel like I was too aggressive with the child.
You cannot be too aggressive. So babies are very resilient.
Okay.
And they don't have formed bones yet, as you guys know.
Right.
So you're not going to hurt the baby. If the baby's not breathing, that's your only goal in life.
Right.
Is to
Okay.
relieve that.
Right.
Anything else goes out the window.
That's not, you know what? That actually makes me feel so much better because I think you get so scared, especially as a newer mom.
I'm gonna crush my baby's
I'm gonna
bones or
hurt
something.
him. Yeah.
No. Okay, so let's say your baby does start to spit up. after you've successfully done the
Sure.
ratio, right? So what's the process after
So
that?
you would rotate the baby to their side, and you would want to finger sweep whatever's in their mouth out.
Oh, got it.
So it's still the same. That part's still the same from what I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in a real life scenario, you would sweep it out really quickly, and
Yeah.
then you would most likely want to pick your baby up.
Yeah.
So you need to just ensure that the baby is now adequately breathing again.
Right. And then everything kind of got out.
And
Right.
then
Yeah.
lots of love and hugs and kisses and
And then a drink to steady your nerves. Oh man.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been in this situation before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not with my baby, with somebody else's
Luckily,
baby.
not your baby.
Yeah.
But still, that's
It's
terrifying.
terrifying.
That's
It's
terrifying.
one of the
this
scariest
is, again,
things
this is
that
why we
happen.
practice physically. Learning on screen is one thing, but actually physically doing it all the time is
Right.
different, because now you're more inclined to actually respond.
Absolutely.
That's why we practice.
Yeah, well, this was awesome. Thank you so much, Brian. I
Yeah,
appreciate
you
it.
guys are welcome.
You
Yeah.
do good
Thank
work.
you for having us.
I think if anything, I feel a little bit more comfortable now.
Absolutely.
With like the
Absolutely.
thought of like at least even handling my baby if something were to happen. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your expertise and knowledge.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah. Suzanne, how do you feel after that?
I feel like I could save this baby, but I do think to save my actual baby, I probably need to get them in here, learn how to really do this. I want my husband to learn. I might
Yes.
even have the whole mixed makeup team learn, to be completely honest.
You know what's really great is this Focus Health offers in like private
Yeah, you can have a
classes,
little party,
parties.
little training.
Prices start at $400. There's a variety of different packages and options that you can choose from depending on what you want to learn. And if you mention FAM, they'll hook you up with 25% off. Very cool.
That's very awesome. Yeah, so tell them you saw this episode and you'll get a hookup.
Which is a great hookup. And I can't recommend this enough. Like I said before, I was a lifeguard many years ago, but I have actually used this in real life. I did save somebody, so that's kind of crazy.
There's so many times when I have thought, why did I not go take a class yet? I
Right.
need to do this. So this is a reminder. Go out there, get trained, learn how to save your child's life or someone else's child's life.
We'll put all the info in the description box below. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode of FAM. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.